Good morning. Did you speak to Trump during the attack?
By the way, you'll be shocked to know hacks, bugs, and vulnerabilities. Trump's new social site is plagued by problems and it hasn't even launched yet.
Truth.
Hashtag truth.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess
God.
1984 was taken.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even for the times we live in, Carl. Wasn't yesterday kind of stunning? Just
Yes.
between those two sound bites we just played, them refusing to say Joe Biden won fair and square, to just, they're apparently, Steve Scalise's whipping votes, they're all going to vote no. You know, this was not contempt of Congress by Steve Bannon when you could not find a more open and shut case of contempt of Congress, right?
Yeah. I have a feeling they're not willing to say that Biden won fair and square because they're afraid that the calls with Trump will stop that they don't want to talk about or admit to.
Yeah. I mean, one more from Luke says Trumpism is not politics. It's a long-standing violence and intimidation generation machine. It's racism, fascism, and sales combined to further fracture social divisions and deteriorate social societal stress points from Central Park 5 to the Wall to George Floyd to the Big Lie and the January 6th attack. I mean, it really is the other disease we deal with, Trumpism.
Yes. Well, and, you know, he's doing what he does best. He's trying to play out the clock here. He was an awful president, but this is something he's good at, is stalling. You know, Republicans in Congress are going to, you know, abide him in that. They're going to help him, abet him, if you will, because they've been doing it all along. They don't have the guts to stand up. And when they do, we see what happens to them.
It's so amazing, Carl, with the sales portion of this. Donna tweeted, Trump leaving office. This was the Newsweek headline when he left. Trump leaving office with 3 million less jobs than when he entered, the worst record since the Depression. He lost the first president in 90 years to lose the House, the Senate, and and Congress. I guess we should be cheering that they're sticking to this guy. You're like, this guy is just a loser. Like, worst president ever, lost everything, one-term president, twice impeached. But here we are, right?
Well, the problem for them is that where it matters for them is in their primaries. And if they go against him, they run the risk of losing their primaries and being out of office. This is all about power to them. It has nothing to do with doing the right thing. It has to do with keeping their jobs. And, you know, he may not win general elections, but he wins primaries pretty consistently, with the occasional, miss that he blames on somebody else. But that's what it's always been about. It's always been about their fear of losing their Republican primary nominations.
Yeah. Carl, so we went through this exercise that you and I knew how it would turn out. Joe Manchin saying, oh, no, I know how to do the voting rights and I'll get Republicans, and zero again voted for this. I don't know what you make of this whole David Corn, Mother Jones story, but I believe David Corn. He stands by the story that Manchin floated leaving the Democratic Party. That, you know, he talked about, obviously, if they don't meet his demand of, 1.75 for the package, he would presumably, then that throws the Senate to Republicans and Mitch McConnell's the majority leader. But, a lot of political strategists, like your former job, called a bull on that, as Joe Manchin would say, and say he would not win a Republican primary in West Virginia. Right. He is bluffing. I mean, what do you think of all that? Of course, he says the story was,
Well, I mean, what leverage did people think he had? I mean, the leverage that he had was that if he stayed in the caucus, he had leverage with the Democrats. And that, his entire leverage would be leaving. So, I don't know if it happened or not, but they also report that David Corn and Manchin were at the same cocktail party earlier this week. So I can imagine that somebody asked Manchin about this and he, said what it might look like, or, intimated that, oh, sure, of course I've thought about it, but whatever. And then that got back to David Corn. So, who knows? David Corn's a good reporter.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I can only imagine Manchin wanted that floated out, right, as part of a negotiating tactic. And then he went very blue.
Oh.
Denying it.
I can't control rumors, and it's bullshit. Oh. Bullshit spelled with a B-U-L-L capital B.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
I wish he'd go very.
I see what you
nailed
did there.
it.
That was a good one. That was super
Line
good.
of the morning,
That
sir.
was super good.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I needed to serve. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't know. I just was like, oh, that's a threat. That's a negotiating tactic to go, oh, give me everything I want, which isn't that what we're doing already? This has come down to
Just
whatever he
about.
wants, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what's happening here. And at some point, people will wake up and realize, hopefully Manchin and Sinema will realize that Republicans are not they're not interested in coming to the table to make a deal. They're doing exactly what they did to President Obama, which is try to deny him everything.
Yeah.
So at some point, something's going to give.
Do you feel?
I would imagine a deal is still possible here, though.
Do you feel? I mean, it's hard. I'm so exhausted. I'm sure you are too by this whole thing. Do you feel like that gets us any closer to a carve out, at least on voting rights? Isn't this what the point of this exercise was? I'm sure Chuck Schumer and all the Democrats knew how it was going to end, but they're like, okay, you know what? We're all behind you. Okay, you do your version. If you can get Republican votes, well, here we are again. So what do you think? It's hard to say what Manchin and Sinema are going to do, right?
Well, I mean, it's the most important issue of our time because it's tied to everything else. And so, I don't know where Manchin is going to get these magical votes from the other side, or what he's going to have to give up if he's going to get any of them. But the clock is ticking.
Somebody coined a term, man-cinema. It's like a mythical creature, half man, half
cinema,
half bisexual weirdo. But it's a man-cinema. That it's terrorizing the entire country and the Senate.
Well, I mean, if this doesn't put a fire under everybody's rear end to elect more Democrats to the Senate.
Yes, I saw a bunch of. I'm sure you saw that too, Karl, is in your former job. But there's a bunch of vulnerable Republicans up. I mean, I sure like Val Demings against Marco Rubio and a bunch of other ones.
Little Marco, Ohio, I believe Pennsylvania. There's a number of opportunities there.
Yeah, let's get some real Democrats in, right? Nobody has to stick a microphone in either of their faces again. It won't be too soon, right? I mean, it really is, but it was like Angus King saying last night. It just is absurd that you've got like 25, you've got minority rule in the United States.
Well, at a certain point, you have to wonder, why is the filibuster okay? But allowing one person to be in control of everything, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Manchin
and Sinema being against filibuster reform while they maintain their own personal filibuster.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So January 6th, justice, are you more or less hopeful? I mean, this is pretty quick today that they're having the vote on contempt today, right?
Well, I certainly hope that they do it, and I hope the Justice Department follows through on it.
Yeah.
But this is what has to happen. We can't have a hearing that doesn't have teeth and that doesn't seek the truth. And it's got to respond when walls are put up. It's got to respond by taking those walls down.
You know what it reminds me of? I have to say. Mimi Roca, our friend in Westchester County, Fani Willis down in Georgia, just move. Let women do it. If you put Stacey Abrams and Katie Porter in charge, everything would be fixed in like a day, wouldn't it? Whiteboard.
Probably.
Voting, whiteboard, everything would be fixed. No, but seriously, why do women have to do all the work? Let's go, Cy Vance. Let's go, Merrick Garland. What's happening?
It's the great questions.
Okay.
And hopefully we get answers soon.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, these committee hearings are fascinating and very revealing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Even Liz Cheney. Oh, our velociraptor, but she's like going right to the heart of it. I think better than anybody in there, right?
It's not like it's opaque or kind of hard to figure out, right? It's very clear where the questioning should go. So, it's not surprising to see Jim Jordan grilled and on the hot seat and changing his answers from what he told media publicly.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let's get him under oath. Right now, he's saying he didn't speak to the president on If he's told,
He's saying he
I
spoke
saw
to them after, but not before or during, even though he told Spectrum News he did. It's a bit all over the map.
Cut number 5 is where he
Oh,
actually
all right.
gets
Oh,
into
let's
that.
listen to him squirm, shall we?
Well,
Yeah.
If you could just clarify the record, was it before, during, or after the attack on the
I talked to the president after the attack.
So not before or during?
Right.
Okay, and you...
And I've been clear about that.
Well,
But here, let me ask you a question. You brought up January 6th.
all right. But my understanding is that you said to a reporter from Politico that you spoke to him during. So it was now after the attack, or you?
During. No, I did not speak to the president during the attack.
So you admitted to speaking to the former president on January 6th, the same day you voted to overturn the election.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Some phone records might clear up his memory.
Yeah.
Also, I believe his answer to Fox News was humla, 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 humla. Wasn't it? So
Yeah.
They asked him the same thing, and he was like, I don't know. Before Jim, I don't know. I have to check my. I don't know. Could have been all.
One of his answers was, I talk to Trump all the time.
Yeah, we have that. We'll find that soundbite
yeah.
of him talking to Fox News. Yes. Okay. Yes. Let's get some people under oath. All right, Karl, you are a delightful scamp as always.
And we can't wait to see him on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Karl Frisch will join us on the Saturday night in Madison, Wisconsin. Very exciting.
I was just about to say, I'll see you Saturday.
Wow. Yes, he and Cliff Schechter
Yes.
from the Unprecedented Podcast and Sexy Liberal Podcast Network. I think we'll do a little opening up the show thing.
Yeah.
Karl is he's a delight in person if you've ever met him.
Yes.